After a truly magical and wild 3 weeks in Japan, it was time to go back home, unfortunately. But there is one way to make that pain lessen, and that is to fly on ANA business class. This time I decided to mix it up and fly in the middle seats, choose the European food, and see how the experience differs when you're flying from Japan to another country.
The airport is so much fuller than when I flew last time from here to Thailand in January. That was. If you want to see that review, go ahead. That was the older business class, but and which was also fantastic, I have to say. But today, of course, we're going with the flagship business class. ANA the room, very, very exciting.
I've been fortunate enough to fly this product more than once, and this time was the first time that I was flying from Japan to Europe.
That was very quick and painless. Now through security. Oh, look at this. Definitely no business class security or immigration here. Don't think that if you're flying business or first, you're going to be able to escape this very long line. At least it's moving quite reasonably. That was incredibly easy, despite the lines. Now let's go look for the lounge. Lounge or no lounge, business class or no business class, still got to have a Fanta grape for the plane. As I mentioned last time, this lounge no longer accepts priority pass. So I'm lucky I'm flying business, otherwise I would not be getting in. There's a machine there. If you want to have a shower, you have to get a ticket to make a reservation. Let's see if it's as full as it was last time. Probably even worse. Could be worse, could be worse. This is not so terrible. It's a giant lounge, so.
I might have spoken a bit too soon because it absolutely got jam-packed within a few minutes after I arrived. I think the staff was scrambling to keep the food filled, but they did a really good job considering how many people there were. Even filming was quite difficult and did feel like I was disturbing people, but I did get a few shots of the food. But to be honest, the best thing that you can do is order some food directly from this little kitchen.
Yes, thank you. Thought I might try some soba noodles before I leave. Now it's time to try and get a drink. Might be a bit difficult.
Drinks and food area was definitely under siege, and the beer machine was in full swing at 8 a.m. in the morning. The spirits had all been open too, but I opted for something a little softer. I just went for a simple Coke.
Chaos. Chaos, I tell you.
Well, this is still Japan, so the chaos was extremely controlled, but it was quite full, I do have to say.
I can even see at the back that another food station, also full. So, yeah, no wonder they stopped priority pass holders from coming in here.
I definitely recommend trying any of the dishes that they bring straight out the kitchen. 100% restaurant quality. And I especially like this soba noodles with the tempura. Delicious.
Now off to the gate. Next time it shall be the sweet. And if you're interested in first class, I flew in January, but from London to Tokyo. I'm looking forward to one day flying from Tokyo to London and going to that lounge. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. Always exciting getting into the ANA flight. Let's go check it out.
Walking down this aisle is always exciting and terrifying. Will I have been moved from my seat? Has the plane been changed? Is it a different business class? Am I sitting in economy for some unknown reason? But as usual, nothing to worry about because on ANA, everything is perfect. As I mentioned before, I chose the middle seat in the European food to see how it would differ from my previous experience. And I do have to say, even though you're right next to somebody, you still feel like you're all on your own in this little room. And once I got settled, I was served a glass of champagne and I checked out the seat information. Now, as you may know, this is the ultimate business class seat. There is no other seat that is as comfortable and as big as this with this many features. You have a half door and you have a full door, which both close to create your little room. Very, very comfortable. There's also this side panel, which does go down, your divider. There's also USB ports right next to you, earphone plugs, a massive, massive table, very useful for working, a whole selection of different lights. There's also the storage area where you've got more USB ports and power plugs, your seat controls, and of course the seat becomes this gigantic bed. And here you can also change the different modes for lighting, and you also have some accent lights. and that's the short version of this seat. And soon I was getting myself comfortable.
As you can see, perfect privacy. Well, this will probably come down later, at least for takeoff perhaps, I don't know. But extremely high walls, making it extremely comfortable. As you can see, loads of space. Can't even get close to the end. Got your two pillows, your bed sheet or duvet. Very, very comfortable.
What's interesting is you get a shoulder harness, which is good because you're flying backwards. And of course, as soon as you're in the air, you get your menu. Now, I had already made up my mind that I was going to try the European food. And I usually choose the Japanese food because I'm a lover of Japanese food, but just to see what it was like, today was an experiment. We started out with some Duval Leroy Brou Reservé champagne.
You can enjoy fruity smell and taste.
I found it a very nice touch that the flight attendant knew about the champagne and the different notes and tastes, so I was very impressed. Then I was served an A&A signature stick, which is basically these sesame-covered, spicy breadstick or cracker kind of things, and some short-necked clam ratatouille, which was the amuse-bouche for both the European and the Japanese meals. I was pretty sure that whatever I was going to get was going to be delicious because I've never had any other experience on A&A.
This is shiitake mushroom soup. It is red sea cream.
But I was really amazed by the presentation of this incredible dish. As you can see, we got some fresh crusty bread, some olive oil, butter, salt and pepper, and some vinegar cured red sea bream and a shiitake mushroom tart. Presentation 10 out of 10, taste 10 out of 10. Absolutely incredible food. And this is on a plane. The mushroom tart was nice and crispy and very mushroomy, delicious. And the vinegar cured red sea bream, oh my god, it's just unbelievable. So delicious, so fresh, and not fishy at all. And next up was the main course, the sautéed fillet of beef and glaçage with Madeira wine sauce. This was delicious too, of course. The sauce was so thick and deep in flavor, it was incredible. The beef was a little bit too well done for my taste, but of course, I still ate the whole thing. Dessert was a choice of citrus mango dessert, a cheese platter, or fruits. Of course, I had to go for the citrus mango and the cheese platter because who doesn't like two desserts? By now you know what to expect. Everything was absolutely perfect and there are very few airlines on this planet that can live up to this kind of quality. And even if it was just a plate of cheese, each of the cheeses was in perfect condition, not dried out or anything like that. And as you can see, I had to do a little dance and finish it off with some delicious, creamy, fruity dessert. Now most of you are much more cultured than I am, and I had to have a Japanese Fanta grape that I picked up at the airport as the drink to seal the deal on an amazing dinner. And as all this eating makes you very sleepy, it was time to turn my seat into a bed. And what a bed it is. So much space to spread out on such a long flight makes the flight so much more comfortable. And the gigantic screen in front turns the whole room into a private cinema. I chose the 3-hour Avatar movie, and as you can have dine on demand, I ordered a snack, which was the chicken tikka masala sandwich in a brioche bread, a nice Pepsi, and some hot corn soup. Absolutely delicious.
So creamy, that corn soup, sweet, salty, amazing. Just warms you up immediately. The tandoori chicken sandwich could have been bigger, but apart from that, the bread is so soft. It's like buttery bread. I think it's brioche. And inside you have like crunchy bits of like tomato and onion and that chicken. Amazing.
Getting to dine on demand and watching an entertaining movie makes the time fly by. And it's not long before I thought, I'm hungry. So of course, I had to order the famous vegan ramen. An incredible choice to have while watching a movie, nice and hot, absolutely delicious, and as I mentioned, it is vegan, so anybody can enjoy that. And after a 3-hour movie marathon, I was able to sleep for about 6 hours, and when I woke up, they were serving lunch. And what a better way than with a whiskey and some anime. Now I must confess, on the final meal I did fold and I chose the Japanese cuisine, which was simmered eggplant in soy sauce, oil-grilled sea bass with butter soy sauce and steamed rice, because that sounded more exciting than ravioli with cream sauce. My last drink was a glass of Hakushu single malt, and as I ate this obscenely glorious food, I wondered to myself, when would I be back?
Another immaculate flight. Absolutely perfect in every which way. Time passed in a flash. I mean, 14 hours is not a joke, and it feels shorter than a 6-hour flight. Service, as usual, absolutely perfect, warm, friendly. If you have any special requests, like in my case, I asked if I could have a picture of the whiskey bottle. She actually brought the bottle and put it here. The food was amazing. I chose a Western menu specifically for you guys because I always choose the Japanese meal, but I thought might as well try the European one. It did not disappoint. Of course, you can't compare it to the Japanese meal, which, if that's your thing, like it is mine, that is obviously much, it's just on another level. But the Western menu was fantastic as well. So definitely worth it. It's the second time I'm flying backwards. You don't notice anything. In fact, I would say to sleep, it's even better. For some reason, it just feels better. I think I slept about 6 or 7 hours, maybe even more. I didn't pay attention, but I slept very comfortably. And I have to say that when I go to Japan, unless it's to review another business class, which has to be as good as this, I will always take this way because first of all, you arrive in Haneda, which is so convenient, or you leave from Haneda. You just get the Japanese experience from the beginning. I mean, it's just perfect, isn't it? You're completely enclosed. You feel like a giant baby in a play cot with all the amenities and toys that you want. Internet is, although there were some breaks in between, the internet was fantastic. I mean, really, there are very few in-flight Wi-Fis where you can post on Instagram and download pictures and things like that. You can't use YouTube or voice call, but otherwise it's very good internet. The movie selection is great too. The screen is gigantic. There's loads of storage space. The bed is huge. I mean, there's really absolutely nothing to complain about. Everything is absolutely spectacular. That's the end of my review for my flight from Haneda to Heathrow. I booked this flight using 47,500 Virgin points, and because it started in Japan and ending in London, it's only about $170 in taxes, I believe. The other way was close to 550. If you have to choose one way and not both ways, I would choose coming back, because then you have something really amazing to look forward to. It's always sad to leave Japan, but if this is how you're leaving Japan, you will still feel Japan on your way back, and you will also have a great time. And most importantly, a very comfortable and convenient and delicious way home. If you enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe, comment of course, tell me what you want to see, and because I'll be doing this again for sure. It's my 6th trip to Japan. I'm sure there's going to be another 4 or 5 in my life minimum in the next few years. So maybe there's something you guys want me to try out. And otherwise, I have to say, perfect.